The place we arrived, they told us we are going to have a shower. The place we arrived consisted of 3 large rooms. And as we were going up, we had to go up on 3 steps to get in. Our capo said, "Now I want you to get in there and get undressed, take everything off and leave your clothes on the floor. Make sure you have got your shoes in your hands and move forward." Well, I didn't understand why she has to tell that outside. But when we went in, it was absolutely jam-packed of women. It was a huge room, and all around the walls there were assessmen standing with rifles on their shoulders. And women who were already stripped were moving into the next room. And we just stood there, not believing ourselves. What is happening? And our capo shouted, "Get on with it, because if you don't, they will start shooting. What do you think they're standing here for?" So what do? You get undressed and you move into the next room. The next room was already empty. We had to stand in single files. There were 5 chairs, and in front of the chair was an inmate. And we had to sit on the chair, and she had a pair of hair clippers in her hand, that size, that's why. And without a word, she just shaved off our hair. It was terrible. It just stumbled, and none of us tried to resist or say, "Why are you doing it?" We were so petrified that we wouldn't even say that. We couldn't. And it went very fast. Next, and the hair was tumbling down. From there we went into the room, the next room. And there they shaved off our underarm hair and our pubic hair. And there was a woman standing with a bucket and a great big sponge. And in the bucket there was some disinfectant. And as we were going under the shower, into the bath actually, she plunked this all over you. And it was burning, it was horrible. And as I was going into the shower, it was a huge room with rows and rows of showers. And under each of these showers, there were 5, 6 women trying to have a wash. I ran to the first shower, and the water was beautiful and warm. And they gave us something that looked soap as we went in. And I rubbed this together, and the water was lovely. And I realized I have no soap, it just melted in the hand. It had a bit of a tacky feeling, and I smelt it. It didn't smell very good. But I didn't bother about it. All I wanted to have a wash under that shower. The next excitement was, I suddenly realized I haven't got my sister. I just promised my mother that I take good care of her. I was such a zombie, and I couldn't organize myself. And I started shouting. I nearly collapsed. Judith, where are you?" And the child stands in front of me and touched me here. She says, "I am here." And I looked at her. Where? And just the voice I recognized, because that was the first time I saw her without hair and looked at us what we looked like. I couldn't see myself, there were no mirrors, so that was good. Pretty soon after that they started shouting, "Out, out, everybody out." So that was our shower, and I said to my sister, "Don't ever leave me, will you?" She says, "I didn't leave you. They cut my hair before yours," and she waited for me. So when we got out, we actually got outside from the hair all cut. You have all over your body. It's prickling you. And there is this cold wind and you are wet. And nobody gives you a towel or underwear. They just give you a long gray garment. Put it on. And we had to put it on our wet body. And the wind very quickly dried us up. And there and then, as we looked around, there were trestle tables, and German women in overcoats were taking our particulars, where we came from, what school we went, who was our father, our mother, everything. And then we had to stand again in fives, and they took us into our camp, which was actually the gypsy camp. But the gypsy inmates were locked in their barracks. We didn't see them, we never saw them. But there were some empty barracks, and they just put us in there until the next camp was finished, because we were coming, they were bringing the Hungarian transport in so fast that they couldn't build it fast enough. When we went into the building, it was a long shed, concrete floors. I think it was wooden, and corrugated sheets for the top. And right on the top there was a row of windows. So it was quite light. And from both sides there were 3 tiers of bunks right through. And on each of these bunks, 10 of us could go on. Ours was the middle one. We went up there. That was my sister, 3 girls from our town, and another 5 girls who were also sisters and friends. And I just lay down on the bare wood, and I fell asleep. I was completely exhausted. And this must have been midday.